Hey, Brandon.
What?
So, you know how the Eagles lost
Yeah.
and the 49ers lost?
Yeah.
Well, the Broncos also lost. So that means, according to your power rankings, the Broncos are the same team as the 49ers and the Eagles. Did I get that right?
I mean, I could see an argument being made.
I'm just saying.
I did tweet before the show that after really kind of diving into all these games, my take was outside of Tua, Goff, okay, maybe Mahomes, every quarterback this week played like Russell Wilson. So you might be onto something.
Until the Packers beat you on Sunday.
Every
That's right.
quarterback's Russell
We
Wilson.
are in the
Oh,
week of
please.
the
Oh,
final
please.
showdown.
Oh,
That's it.
please.
You're not
Oh,
my
please.
friend this week. You
Oh,
are the
God.
enemy.
When
That
you
is
guys
right.
lose to us, it's going to be so
It
embarrassing.
is going to be so bad, and I'm going to cry. Oh, baby. We here.
We steer.
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna, and this is a GPS. This is what the NFL is. It's just constant chaos. Every time you think you understand what's going on, you don't.
You don't.
Anytime you go, there's no way that team's going to lose. We were talking about the 49ers going undefeated, and then they lose to the Cleveland Browns and XFL superstar PJ Walker.
Hey, I mean, he's been in the NFL for a while, you know.
I know, but he's also I mean, that's where he
was.
kinda,
yeah, he's a roughneck baller.
That's it. I'm dizzy now.
Lions are 5-1.
Yes, they are. Tied for the best record in the league. And fun fact, there's only one 5-1 team that has beaten another 5-1 team, and that is the Detroit Lions.
Ooh, yeah, the Lions. They didn't blow their stuff right out the gate, you know? They've just gotten better and better and better every week. 49ers may have peaked. Eagles, they still have never really peaked. Honestly, I think I'm a little more surprised the Eagles lost than the 49ers losing.
Really? I actually thought the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, on the surface, yes, but if you kind of look at what happened in each game, the 49ers lose Trent Williams, they lose McCaffrey, they lose Deebo Samuel. And let's be honest, PJ Walker probably better than Zach Wilson when you think about it. So I think that was a little more surprising. I think it says a lot about the Browns defense and how like insanely talented they really are. Good. Because like Philly, like they had, I guess the Eagles lost Lane Johnson in that game, so they lost a lineman as well. But the Jets on defense, and the Jets defense is their strength, but they didn't have Sauce Gardner back there. They didn't have DJ Reed back there. Their Brandon Eccles, the corner who fills in for those guys, not there. Guillermo. Yeah, see, and my take on the Raiders is they are maybe the best of the bad teams. The Raiders are the best bad team.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they beat the Broncos, another bad team. They beat the Packers, possibly a bad team. They beat the Patriots, a bad team. But they didn't blow any of those teams like out.
Thank you for the possibly. I appreciate that. I greatly appreciate the possibly that was thrown.
Well, I really don't know about the Packers.
It's doing a lot of work.
I would love
to
make fun of you, like your team sucks. Your team sucks, but you know, I think the Packers I think they're average.
I put on a natural light here, and I'm not using my actual lights, and it looks like the sun is coming off my dome.
Yeah, it looks like Jesus is shining his light upon you.
That's something. It's No, Caleb Williams, I think, will be okay. I mean, listen, he had like one really bad game. That's what people are starting to talk about now, too, because it was like, oh, we're tanking for Caleb Williams, and then he has the game on Saturday, and they're like, oh, well, hold on just a second there, partner.
Yeah.
So, dude,
if anybody's judging a college QB off of one game, I hope that team is whoever picks ahead of the Broncos in the draft. So, like, if you want to be like, oh yeah, he played a bad game, he's gonna suck forever. Be that team and pick ahead of the Broncos. Dear God, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have so much to talk about because like yesterday was pure chaos. It was pure. There are no more undefeated teams. Massive upsets. The Bills looked like trash.
Yeah, so you say chaos. I say every football game was just poo-poo. It was so boring. It was like I was a little upset that I had all Sunday to watch football without the Broncos playing, focus in on, enjoy Red Zone. And it had to be one of the worst weeks for Red Zone since Red Zone was invented. Every quarterback was terrible. All the games were these defensive, like, fuck fests. I did not enjoy football. I wanted a couple teams to have some big plays, some QBs just lighten up defenses, but we didn't get it. And the Bills were not good.
Dude,
they won.
But did they? I mean, they won. Yes, it's going to go.
Yeah.
We all lost. We all lost watching that game, and I wouldn't be surprised at this point. I do want to talk. Like, I don't even know where to start. I actually kind of want to start with the Bills because the Bills, they did not look good last week in London against the Jaguars. Their offense, besides that, like Stephon Diggs touchdown, didn't do anything in the first half. And then they came alive like during like the 2-minute drill. They were like, oh, let's go hurry up now and let's actually score some points. And a lot of people were like, oh, it's jet lag. And of course, like they had the injuries and all that stuff.
Converting to metric, like that's always tough for teams.
It's difficult, right? Exactly. That graduated cylinders. It was a weird time.
The yards or meters today? I don't know.
But good God, man, they looked horrifically bad against, and I want to be very clear, the Giants are a very bad football team. And they are arguably one of the worst teams in the league, like bottom 3. And the Bills almost lost to them. Yeah. And it was like not even like, oh, you know what? Gritty win, what have you. It just was bad. It was a bad performance all the way around. And I don't know how much confidence you have, but maybe you take like some stock in like, hey, the 49ers and Eagles are losing teams that they, appear to shouldn't have lost to. So maybe you take some solace in that.
Yeah, I mean, like if you want to look for a through line between the Giants, the Browns, and the Jets, they all have good defensive fronts. So like you can say the Giants are bad, but I think their front 7 is pretty good. Their defensive line specifically is good, and their linebackers played very well. So that's the only credit I'm really going to give the Giants in this game. Like if you're a Bills fan, you're worried about their offense, right? Like we're not used to not seeing them, at least at points, like score in exciting fashion. They couldn't run the ball very well. Josh Allen didn't start really playing effectively until he hurt his shoulder and had to get checked out for a concussion. Yeah. So like, does Josh Allen just need to take like 3 hits to start the game before like he starts doing his thing?
He's just slapping himself in the face. He's like, all right, now I'm ready to go.
Yeah. It's they need a weapon outside of Stephon Diggs. The Bills do, a reliable weapon that defenses have to account for. And I know Gabe Davis heading into that game and scored a touchdown every week, but like they need somebody who scares defenses. And they missed like that game came down to the controversial non-PI call to end the game, right? So the Giants before halftime, poor Tyrod Taylor checks to a run, and they have no timeouts. They get stopped. So they go into halftime and they don't score any points. 1st and goal, they don't score any points. Game comes down to goal line again. Clock running. They throw a pass into the back of the end zone to Darren Waller, and he probably gets pass interfered with. You just get pass interfered with a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit for sure. Some tugging, some pulling. Refs don't call it a flag, which is fine because I wanted the Bills to win. But like, and I know Giants fans are upset, and they should be. Buffalo missed 3 field goals as well, so the Giants were lucky to be in that situation to have a chance to win that game there, but also they deserved to lose that game several times. But the Bills deserved to lose that game several times. It was a game where both teams should have just shook hands and said, we'll both take a loss tonight. We punished America for playing this football game in prime time. There was almost nothing interesting that happened in this game, except for controversial plays. And we are going to give everybody who came to this game their money back.
I mean, yeah. Can they also like refund the people who watched at home? Just like, even if it's like $1.50, just like, here you go. Just have a little something. No, but the Bills got the win, and that's all that matters for their playoff race. They played well against the Dolphins before they went on this skid of playing like a team that just doesn't look good. And I don't know what. And I know Buffalo's had injuries along the way, but like, look at the Giants. They were starting Justin Pugh straight off the couch on their offensive line. Like, they were starting Tyrod Taylor. I mean, if you look at, like, if you're going to be worried, the Bills concern me, but like, what are there? Maybe 3 teams, maybe 4 that I'm like, all right. If we were like to actually look at it, which teams are you looking at? They'd be like, all right, I have the least amount of concerns. Like, how many actually like fit in that bill? I don't know. 49ers and Chiefs, pending what we learn about 49ers injury situations today. Okay. Yeah, like CMC, obviously, Deebo Samuel. Yep. Yeah, and Trent Williams, Yeah, he came back, so... Oh, did he? Yeah, no, he got hurt and then he came back. Oh, I didn't know that. No, I just... Like, the Lions right now, the thing that impressed me the most was their defense yesterday. Like, their defense looked really good. And they're battling injuries, too. Like, they're not a healthy football team. But they're tied for the best record in the entire league. So, like, they're up there. And the Lions do not have a terrible schedule. Like, their schedule is not too bad. So they could wind up. Oh, yeah, I'm not worried about the Lions either. You're right. Yeah. I mean, like, they're up there. So it's so weird to say I'm not worried about the Lions. It is weird. It is like, very, 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 very weird. Yes. And I think the Lions, I guess you could say they're playing they're playing better than the 49ers. They weren't before yesterday, but now overall, the Lions are way better than the 49ers couldn't hold a candle to the Detroit Lions. You just forgot them when I mentioned what teams you're not worried about, and now you're saying they're better than the 49ers. I'm also saying, like, getting that Lions mentality out of your soul, that takes a little time, takes a little adjusting, And the Lions, they didn't have Jahmyr Gibbs. David Montgomery gets hurt in that game against the Buccaneers. Okay, so they're down a couple guys. Was Sam Laporta out too? Was he still out? Laporta played. Okay, well, trying Detroit. And I think you might have just cursed them. But yeah, going forward, I'm concerned about the Bills. I was already concerned like when Matt Milano and Trey White were out. But now the offense, I'm like, and again, it's week 6. They have time to fix things. But I think what yesterday showed is obviously... no Brian Branch. Brian Branch still out. There we go. Yes. Kickers. And strong defenses like still make a difference in the NFL. Like they make a big difference because like the Jets and Browns, like they have very, very good defenses. So yeah. If the Jets can just hang in there until Aaron Rodgers is healthy, they're going to be a crazy end of the season team. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think he comes back unless it's a playoff. Like unless they make the playoffs. But and like even then, like that's a stretch, dude. Like that. The fact that he's walking already, it's gingerly, obviously, but like the fact that he's walking is crazy. But there's a big difference between walking and like running around and throwing a football at an NFL QB level. So there definitely is a difference, but dude, it's great to see. And right now, like this is primo time for Zach Wilson. It's like, hey, like, let's see. Like, let's see what you got. You know, this is why we drafted you, and you know, everyone took the lumps for drafting him and didn't look good, and he got benched and all that. But
I think Aaron Rodgers could win even if he's still a little injured. I've seen Joe Flacco win a Super Bowl, and he had no intention to ever move out of the pocket. Peyton Manning won when half his body was falling apart.
That's
Tom Brady won a lot of Super Bowls. He never left the pocket.
Browns.
Except for when he tried to catch a pass in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, you know.
It's true. Yeah, people were trying to tell me, like, so Tyrod Taylor, like, looked better than Daniel Jones yesterday behind, like, the same O-line and stuff. Yes. I still don't know. I don't think he's the answer. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the Giants are just, like, in this weird limbo where things are not going well. Dude, and, like, Saquon being back, I think, helped tremendously, even though he didn't do a ton. He had, like, a couple ones that he broke off. But, like, having a guy that you can hand the ball to definitely helps.
Definitely. I think Giants fans basically just said Daniel Jones is a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, Tyrod Taylor, he's been that quarterback for most of his career. Like, he's solid. But he's never going to be more than just serviceable. It's why, like, you know, as soon as he got hurt with the Chargers, Justin Herbert came in and they didn't even think about bringing Taylor back. Taylor led the Bills to the playoffs. He got the Buffalo into the playoffs before the Josh Allen era started. So Giants fans are saying they think Daniel Jones is best suited to be your backup QB moving forward.
Which might not be wrong.
Yeah. Now we talked. Here's something.
Glad he's okay, but that's the last time I heard about it. He went to the hospital.
Yeah,
just, like, to do
it sounded like
stuff.
just to get stuff checked out, but back injury is never good. Trust me. No. Definitely. I don't like. How can you be as handsome as Jimmy Garoppolo and then get back issues? Like, it just doesn't seem right to me. It seems like every part of his body should work perfectly all the time and never be hurt. But historically, he's suffered a lot of injuries. It's sad. Makes me glad I'm not super handsome. What was I saying? Oh, here's something. Okay, so we kind of talked about, like, deep balls, right? Getting taken away a little bit by the too high shell, the whatever. It feels like mobile quarterbacks are not having as much success this season running the football. Agreed. That goes to Daniel Jones. It goes to Josh Allen. It goes to Lamar Jackson, who I think had like 60 or 70 rushing yards this week. But it's still, like, I feel like either teams are trying to get more out of those guys from the pocket, or defenses are playing against a quarterback who can run and beat you more effectively. And I don't know which one is true. Probably a little bit of both. But I feel like even before Jones went out with the neck injury, and I know they didn't have Saquon back there, so much of what set up his success last year was him being a threat running the football. And I feel like every week I've been saying, why aren't there more rushing yards with this quarterback, with quarterback X? And, you know, maybe it's defenses are just getting a little better at defending it.
Yes, I agree. I mean, I think it's also the like the Browns defense, like, and that was just on a super chat too. And I think Coleman was just talking about it too. Like, the Browns defense is doing something that's insanely, like, rare. Like, I think they said they're holding teams to like 200 yards on average, which is pretty damn crazy for 2023 NFL.
It's like the fewest yards since like 1953 or something.
So I think it's like what we're talking about, right? Of like the deep ball's not really there. And so because of that, like, they're going to like try and like do short pass. I mean, even last night, I feel like almost every play besides like a handful that they just chucked it down the field, it's just like dump off behind the line of scrimmage, wide receiver screen, dump off again, like 3 yards over the middle because the random check down is open. Like, I feel like, again, that is the current NFL. And that's why it makes teams like the Dolphins so exciting, because it's like, oh, like, they can put up points. But, dude, like, even they came back and they were fine. But, like, they were down 14-0 to the Panthers. And I was all like, what the hell is going on? They obviously rebounded, and then they even put in their backups and then threw a pick six. But, I mean, it's just, the NFL is very weird right now. And I feel like if you have a really good defense, even if your offense is not great, there's a good chance that you're going to be in games. And, like, that's the Jets. Like, can you imagine what the Jets would look like with Aaron Rodgers right now?
Yeah.
Like, they would be amazing.
They would.
But,
we would be talking about them as one of these teams that I feel like could do it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the Dolphins, the Eagles, and the 49ers, the thing all of those teams had until, like, this week, kind of, son of a bitch, call me up, is they could all run the ball well in addition to passing well and getting those big plays from the short passing game. I think Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense is one of the best at kind of lulling defenses to sleep by running the ball and then hitting deep shots to AJ Brown or, Devontae Smith or whoever there. But this week, those two things kind of changed a little bit for the 49ers and the Eagles because they played good defenses. The Dolphins, they are still able to run, and they should get better again at that one. Achane comes back, but Raheem Mostert, like, he's still good.
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, he's good. I mean, he was doing well before Achane had his breakout. So,
yeah.
Like, yeah. Absolutely.
So it's in the Bills. It goes back to, like, they're not really a threat running. So then that limits your passing game. The Giants aren't a threat running or throwing. And I don't know why Kirk Cousins said he refuses to waive his no trade clause. He should go. He should go somewhere. He should say, "I'll do it. Send me to the freaking Falcons, okay? Send me to the Jets. I don't care. Like, I want to see Cousins go somewhere else and see what happens." But he's gonna ride and die with the Vikings, and that's fine because
he'll be gone in the offseason, and then, like, the Vikings will have no idea what the hell they're gonna do, and
yeah,
maybe draft because they won yesterday against the Bears. But you know what I think is interesting, and this speaks to, like, the 49ers too, like, how much CMC is a part of that team, like, and is a part of, like, their game plan, because, like, he goes down, like, that game is also different. Like, they couldn't move the ball, like, they couldn't really do much. And I think the 49ers are still one of, if not, like, the best team in the NFL, because look at everything that had to happen for them to lose that game. They're going up against a historically good defense. The weather is garbage. And I'm not making excuses for them at all. Like, because the Browns, they won that game. The weather was garbage. Brock Purdy had, like, his worst game that he ever played. They lost Trent Williams for a hot second. They lose CMC. They lose Deebo Samuel. At least one of those calls on that final drive was complete BS. The officiating was not good in that game.
Yeah,
it was a flag fest. It was like 25 penalties. Like, it was insane. With that one where he ran into the defender and they called PI, and it's like, really? Like, it was just a very ticky-tacky. And talking about the officiating, which I put in the rundown, the officiating seems to have gotten worse. And I know we do this every year, but I feel like last year we kind of were giving them a little bit of, like, hey, you know what? Like, I haven't heard the refs completely screwing a game.
Yeah, we did say that for a while.
Right? We did. We're like, this is actually pretty good. We're talking about the teams and not the refs. The refs were bad. The refs were bad. So all of that had to happen for the 49ers to lose. Oh, and they missed, like, Moody missed his first field goals ever. So I still think they're going to be fine. They're going to be good. But the Browns, if they can get stuff going on offense, and it's such a shame about Nick Chubb, man, because, like, Nick Chubb on that offense could have made such a big difference. Like, I'm happy for PJ Walker, and even though he didn't play his best game, I think the 49ers are going to be fine going forward. But like you said, it's dependent on those injuries. Like, how significant is the CMC injury, the Deebo Samuel injury, etc.
Yeah, PJ Walker didn't play well. And that's kind of what, if you're a 49ers fan, you gotta be a little bit concerned. Like, the defense kept him in that game, but I would have liked to see the defense do more to get the win against a PJ Walker-led offense. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sorry.
You read
Elliot,
this comment?
That's a phenomenal comment. that that encapsulates
Sleeping with the
Raiders.
Necks, Elliot. Sleeping with the Necks.
That's pretty damn good. You know what?
Bam,
Here you
bam,
go,
bam.
Elliot.
Don't blink. If you're a blinker, cut your eyelids off.
Cut them eyelids off.
And the missed field goals rough for the Niners at the end. Even though Moody's been good all season, it's rough. But like the final drive, the Browns could have put up more points, but PJ Walker had just a couple like terrible throws. I was like, where's he going with this?
Yeah.
So the Niners are a little lucky, I think, to have had a shot at the end of that game, because I think if they were playing a better offense, they wouldn't have.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, but see, the difference is losing a guy like McCaffrey during a game it's more difficult than like the Browns have not had Chubb for several weeks.
No, he's saying like I'm assuming the game, like when they lost Chubb, that's how the Browns started to look because they're so reliant on him. And it's the same exact thing.
Makes sense.
Jaguars defense real good. Looking at you, Josh Allen, the good Josh Allen from Sunday.
Whoa.
But, I mean, so the 49ers, I'm not worried yet until we see what happens with the injuries. Yeah, and that's a shout out to the Browns. Like, again, they did it. Like, that Browns defense is no joke. Like, they were making Brock Purdy's life miserable yesterday.
Yeah. It reminds me of that 2015 Broncos defense. The last dominant one the NFL's really had.
I mean, there's that. I do want to talk about the Eagles, though, because
if the Browns defense gets Deshaun Watson to a Super Bowl, oh my God.
If their defense can stay at that level, legitimately, it's going to be tough for teams in the AFC to beat them.
Yeah,
that's true too.
I do not want to see that.
It's going to be tough. It is definitely going to be tough to beat them.
What's the rest of the Browns sketch? Well, I guess they're going to have a lot of NFC or AFC North games.
Yeah. I think
Browns.
right now, that's a great question. Like, who's the best team in the AFC North or the scariest? The Bengals, they're back at 500. Like, obviously, the Seahawks kind of shot themselves in the foot yesterday. The Seahawks played, like, relatively well, just not on red zone offense. But I think in terms, the Bengals are, okay, they're getting back to form, and that's always scary. The Ravens game, I watched it. That game was ugly as hell, too. Like, they didn't do anything that inspired, but they were going up against a good defense. I think the Browns, with their defense, makes them the scariest team. But if their offense isn't doing much, you can win that game still.
Yeah, so, they're going to keep their team in every game.
Yes, just like the Jets. It's just like the Jets.
Yeah. The Browns play the Colts, the Seahawks, the Cardinals, and then they go through Baltimore, Pittsburgh. Then they got the Broncos, Rams, Jags, Bears, Texans, Jets, Bengals to finish the season. Browns versus Jets in week 16. That's going to be a dumb game. Oh, my God.
That's going to be a 3-0 game.
Oh, my God. That's going to be ugly.
Mm-hmm. Of course it is. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Their offense is going to be the one that hinders them, but it's just like the Jets. But both those teams beat undefeated teams yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's all that is kind of going to be the main takeaway, because you look at, like, PJ Walker didn't play well. Brock Purdy didn't play well, but Jalen Hurts didn't play well either. Like, Jalen Hurts, like, played arguably like one of his worst games. He did not look good.
No, he had 3 picks and it cost him the win.
Justin was asking before, like, are you more concerned about, like, the 49ers or the Eagles? Because the Eagles, I put it as, again, the coordinators, they're learning on the job as they go. Offensive coordinator, not so good. There's not many elite defenses that they're going to go against. So, like, put it this way. Where are the best defenses right now, right? The 49ers are really good, so that's one in the NFC. But the elite ones, like you're looking at the Browns, the Jets, like that's in the AFC. So if they make it to the playoffs, those mofos are going to have to go through that gauntlet of crap. In the NFC, like the Detroit Lions, like they have a good defense. They're playing well.
Yeah, their defense is very good.
I feel like whoever gets into the NFC, they're going to have to worry about like maybe a couple of not like elite, but very good defenses.
Yeah, I think the Buccaneers have a very, very good defense. And I think that's what's really impressive about the Lions win is they gutted it out against a good defense. And they also were able to score, 20 plus points. Think about the AFC North in all of their defenses, though. The Browns,
Yep.
the Steelers. We know those two are really good. Nasty. Like the
Yeah.
Bengals defense has kept them in games despite their offense playing very, very
True.
poorly.
They did get
And the
cursed.
Ravens always seem to have a like top 10 defense. So that those four alone are that just a little stupid in my opinion. And we're talking, and it's kind of weird. We're talking about those defenses. We're not really talking about Joe Burrow. We're really not
No.
talking about Lamar Jackson.
They give
Deshaun
it to
Watson was
Tua.
hurt this week. Kenny Pickett and the Steelers offense is maybe the worst of all of them. Like you take a Matt Canada offense over a PJ Walker led Browns offense. Like who you got in that situation, Tom? I don't know.
I don't know, man. Like
Again, every offense right now is the Broncos offense in the NFL. They're all led by Russell Wilson this week.
That's just no. I mean,
yeah, the Browns won. Their quarterback didn't do anything.
what about the Dolphins?
Well,
What about
except
Jared
for the
Goff?
Dolphins and Lions. Except for the Dolphins and Lions.
Dude,
I said Tua or Goff. They're the only good quarterbacks this week. And
Okay.
boy, some people took that. I said, do all quarterbacks in the NFL suck besides Tua and Goff? Most people got the joke. Everybody who didn't, taking that shit way too seriously. Bringing up stats.
they are good.
Old Josh Allen stats.
Yeah.
Old Patty Mahomes stats.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, Jared Goff is looking good. The Eagles,
Yeah.
though, like, do you have concerns? Like, oh man, because again, they had some injuries too. I'm not trying to take any away.
Yeah,
from
what
the
happened
Jets.
to Lane Johnson? Depends on. He's a key part of that line, and everything about the Eagles' offense that's good is because their offensive line.
Because the thing that Andrew, that's a great point. Because I was just about to bring that up. My concern is, of course, the injuries, but it's their schedule's not easy.
Lane Johnson, probably high ankle sprain, so that's not great. But X-rays negative. I think you're right, though. It's losing both of your coordinators is really tough. And I know Eagles fans, all day, like Jonathan Gannon was overrated or whatever. But right now, he's got the Cardinals outperforming what we thought. Yes, the Cardinals are 1-5, but they're a surprising 1-5, essentially.
They did not look good yesterday.
And Shane Steichen, I think, was doing a very good job with the Colts in their offense. He's navigated going back and forth between quarterbacks. Obviously, Gardner Minshew did not have a good game against Jacksonville. Maybe he thought he still played for the Jags. Maybe Rachel's logo with the upside-down horseshoe actually cursed him. I don't know. But there's 4 turnovers from Gardner, 3 picks. But I think both of those guys, losing them both, I don't know if I'm concerned. Are you asking, do I think the Eagles are going to get back to the Super Bowl? They're going to be a playoff team.
Sure.
But are they going to live up to last year's expectations? I don't think so. Not at this point.
They also had an easier schedule last year, right? That was like one of the main targeted attacks on them. It was like they haven't really played anybody. And
but didn't every NFC team kind of have an easy schedule last year?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, the postseason too. I mean, they had the easiest run just because of how Travis just getting louder and louder.
Brandon.
3 times it's just started like $1, $5, $10.
Yeah, you got Bernard.
I think they're coming into a tougher schedule. Things have obviously changed. Like maybe people are figuring out Jalen Hurts a little bit more now. Yeah, again, I think they're going to be just fine. But I always looked at it as the 49ers were better than the Eagles this season. Like, I think the Eagles were very, very good. And once they, gelled, whenever that happens in the season, I think they're still going to be very good. They have Super Bowl aspirations and could make it there. Yeah. I always thought the 49ers were still better, though. They just seemed like a more balanced team.
The 49ers were the best team until this week.
And again, they still could be up there.
Yeah.
It just depends on what happens with, all these lingering injuries.
The other thing about the Eagles, the one thing I'm less concerned about with Philly in terms of how they damn it, Trav. The thing I'm less concerned about is Philly beat themselves. They turned the ball over 4 times as well, right? Jalen Hurts had 3 interceptions, and didn't DeAndre Swift fumble in that game or something?
There was a fumble too, yeah.
So 4 turnovers, that's correctable. You know, that last throw that Hurts threw, that was nearly the pick six for the Jets. You can fix that. Like, I don't think Jalen Hurts makes that same mistake every week. So if you're trying to be optimistic about it, I think it's like, oh, it's just one of those games they let get away from. Honestly, I thought the Eagles won that game. So I was watching Red Zone. I saw the Eagles sack Zach Wilson very late in the fourth quarter. I was like, that's over.
Yeah.
I had to go upstairs to do something and just missed like the sequence when they lost the game. So it wasn't until I think like Sunday Night Football and I was starting to go back through things. I was like, wait, what the fuck? Philly lost? Philly ended up losing this game? I was a little flabbergasted when I saw that. I was like, dang, because they were up by 2, sack Zach Wilson. And then I was like, oh my God, Jalen Hurts threw a horrible interception.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go, Perna.
Brandon Berna. Brandon. I just like it. You know what? Let's see here. You want some Brandon? You want some freaking Brandon, baby? Let me find a Brandon for you.
Wow, such a boomer. You need some glasses, buddy?
Yeah.
Look
you
how
got Brandon.
Full your beard was.
I know.
It was scruffy last year.
Yeah, I can look like several different men. I'm a shapeshifter, if you will. It's one of the reasons Jess married me. It's like every week she's with a different guy. She says, if you don't shapeshift, I'm going to Jada Pinkett Smith you. Speaking of bad relationship, you know who never lets me down? Underdog Fantasy, Tom.
They are never going to sponsor this show again.
No, they're the opposite of a bad relationship. Underdog Fantasy.
Brandon, I just real quick. I just want before you do your read. Sure. I want to just walk through this. We were talking about football, and then someone screamed and donated $50 at you, said Brandon Berna. So then you posted a clip of and a bunch of gunshots, and then said, you know, I'm a shapeshifter, that my wife is with someone every week. Oh, and here's Underdog Fantasy.
Boom. That's why they sponsor the show. They like spontaneity. They like the unpredictability. They like stuff. And I know you like it too. I know you like that chaos, baby. Still haven't won a pick 'em. We set the college lineup, right?
Yeah, how'd that go, buddy?
I went lower on Shedeur Sanders.
Yep.
And the Buffs lost in horrific fashion. You want to talk about the actual new worst game. The way the Buffs, they were up 29-0 and lost that game. Sanders hit higher in the first half of that game, Tom.
They did tell you. They did tell you not to do that, though. The chat literally was like, do not do the lower. Kermit. Whoop.
Yeah, but I'm like 28 fantasy points. To me, it just felt like one of those ones that was set high. I guess Stanford's defense, I should have known how bad
I saw that was 29-0, right? And then they lost.
I know they always try and beat me up to the cheeseburger stand.
I'm sorry, I just love that.
My pick'ems is still 0 and whatever. I'm the Panthers of picking games higher lowers this season. So, Underdog. Use our code GPS, our link in the description. They're going to match your first deposit up to...
I think they will, honestly.
500. No, they will match your deposit.
No, I'm talking about the Chiefs trying to bigger. No, and you know what? Trav gave you $100, so suck it, Brandon.
Hey, I'm going to use it on Underdog. I know it, Trav. I'm going to turn that into more money.
Brandon, that hasn't. I'm just going to give.
Johnny John John! Woo!
Trav is paying for the college I'm not going to let Carmi go to. Thank you, Trav. All right, Monday Night Football, Tom. We're going higher or lower.
Oh,
Can
Jesus
I hit
Christ,
my
Brandon.
first pick'em? Now, part of it is I keep going with 5. I think 5 it's tricky to do. It really is. So today, we're also going 5. Dak Prescott against the Chargers defense, 16.45 fantasy points. I feel like I want to say lower. So I'm going higher. Tony Pollard, 15. Ooh. See, this is my problem. I start to get in my head, man. I start to second guess everything. And then I don't know if I'm second guessing my original feeling or second guessing my second guess. And I just guess wrong.
Maybe the Chiefs. I don't even know at this point. I don't.
Eckler's first game back, 15.95.
I feel like,
I feel like lower.
I feel like it's a little high.
I feel like the Cowboys defense kind of has something to prove. I think they're going to play a lot better than they did last week. Herbie at 19.
Oh, I'm going to give you someone was asking for the sexy disclaimer. Hold on one second. Ready for this? Feast your eyes on this. Oh. Yeah.
There we go.
Got to be present in a state where it operates. What are you doing, Brandon? Oh my God, what are we doing?
What do you think?
I don't.
Any of those feel wrong to you?
Brandon, I'm afraid every time you make a pick, you haven't won yet. So like,
blood is going to be on your hands as well for this.
No. My hands are clean. I make sure I wash them many times.
Blood on my hands. No remorse.
Okay, so Dak higher. I don't necessarily disagree with that because I feel like this game could be a shootout.
Yeah.
Tony Pollard is like weird. Like he'll disappear at times.
Yeah. He's either going to have like 8 fantasy points or 29. See, I think 15 is set. It's a little high for Pollard, but I think the Chargers have given up some big run. Their defense has given up some big games, but one of those was the Dolphins. The Dolphins do it to everybody. I don't know. Chat. What's my mistake here? Somebody guide me. Who knows thine higher and lowers for underdogs in football? It's the first piece of advice I see in the chat, and I'm gonna take it, Tom. I'm gonna take it.
People were just saying lower on everything.
See, I feel like this is going to be the one game that might be good this week, and we see offense.
You think
They're
so?
saying CD will be under.
Yeah, CD scares me because he's just not as involved as I think a lot of people anticipated.
What
Are
about
we
this?
going
What if I
lower
do?
on every single one?
Is that what you guys want? Fine. Budget.
You know what? I would change if I will offer one piece. You could do whatever you want with it.
Okay.
I would take the higher on Herbert. That's
Really?
the one I would change. I would take the higher on Herbert. And if you lose by that, I will not stop laughing. So don't take that as advice. I'm just telling you what I would do. And I won a handful of these. I would be higher on Herbert. And that's the only one I would be higher on.
All right. I'm going to go higher on Herbert. I'm going to listen to you. I'm going 77. Lucky $77. I see a higher on Eckler. Higher on Eckler. No, I'm going to stick with it. Boom. I'm going to win. I feel it.
If you win because of that Herbert one, I get $1.
You get $100.
Okay. Wow. I really got to work on my negotiation skills. That sounds good. How much could you win?
What's that?
How much could you win?
Like 1,500.
Oh, damn. Okay. Wait, just 100 then? All right, that's fine.
We'll see.
Fine.
We'll see if I win.
So,
Look, I'm down pretty bad in
are down
underdog
pretty bad.
overall.
dude.
All right, there we go. We made my pick'ems.
It was a little one. It was. I had the most success in preseason.
Yeah.
I was crushing it in preseason. So, yeah, I do want to talk about the Jaguars. They played really, really well. The Colts also were like Gardner Minshew just had a really rough game. Texans got the win against the Saints.
We both picked that too, didn't we?
Yes, we did. We both picked the Patriots too. And listen, I know the Raiders won, but like no one should be happy after that game either.
No.
Like they both were god awful.
No.
Like god awful.
And poor McCorkle Jones threw a horrible pick, but late in that game, he drops a dime to Devontae Parker. Backed up in their own end zone. McCorkle hits him deep, and the ball just falls through Parker's hands. Would have probably set up a possible game-winning, score for the Pats, but like 1 or 2 plays later, Mac Jones is just sacked in his own end zone. It's just like whatever the Patriots do, they're getting effed.
There's nothing. It's bad. The Patriots are a very bad football team right now.
They are. That's a big surprise to me. I thought they were going to be better this season. I thought Mac Jones was going to be better with an actual offensive coordinator. But they're just not good. And they lost 2 of their key defensive players, and now their defense is just kind of like, it's okay. But
it's true, Guillermo. It's true. Guillermo, you can have that one.
Enjoy those wins, Guillermo.
You know what
the Raiders have 3 wins now? Are they a 3-win
Yeah, they're
team?
3-3. You know what I'd actually love? If the Raiders just won like this, like it looked terrible. They go to the playoffs like this, I would laugh my ass off. If they like made the number 7 seed by just winning like horrible games, and they just get in, and the Chargers somehow don't, and like they're the second team from the AFC West, that'd be pretty dope. That'd be pretty dope. So, dude, that Jets-Browns game, yeah, it's gonna be just like that. It's gonna be just like that. So. All right, let's talk about some of these games though, because there are a couple I want to talk about. The Ravens-Tennessee game, I feel like was exactly what everybody anticipated it was going to be. Yeah. I went to bed on Saturday night, and I was like, I legitimately don't know if I'm going to stream this game. I don't. And I woke up early, and I was like, I still don't know if I want to stream this game. And I made the decision to, and I was like, yeah, that's on me. That's on me, because it was an ugly game. The Titans... Dude, again, I just never know what team's going to show up, but their fans have no idea what team is going to show up. But it was the bad Titans that showed up yesterday. Yeah. They did not look good. And they still could have won that game.
They didn't look good, but they got production out of Derrick Henry.
They did.
It was Ryan Tannehill got hurt, and Malik Willis came in and got sacked 4 times in 1 quarter.
Yes, that is correct.
So that was not ideal.
Well,
it was a Tajay Spears too, right?
63 of his 97 yards for Derrick Henry was on 1 play.
Yeah, so, but like that's still important. Like that's a big play from a guy to put him in the red zone.
Yep, it was a direct snap, and he like ran it all the way. Yeah, absolutely. It's just like the O-line wasn't good. Like nobody played well. It was the field goal game. I had a field goal counter on the stream because of how like it was just Justin Tucker had himself a great day. But yeah, I mean, do you put that on like the Ravens defense being that good, or is it the Titans being that bad, or is it just both?
I think the Ravens defense is good. They're good every week, basically. I just think the Titans are in this weird spot where they have Ryan Tannehill.
Yes.
They drafted Malik Willis. They drafted Will Levis, who wasn't even active for this game. So Tannehill gets hurt. They put in Malik Willis. We thought last year that Malik Willis was not good. Okay, Malik Willis looked very bad last year, and he's a young quarterback, a raw quarterback. I like to give guys time, but I don't know why the fuck you draft Will Levis and you don't I don't even care if Will Levis hasn't played as well as Malik Willis in your practices or whatever. Like, why is he not ready to go in case something happens to Tannehill?
Spears does look solid.
I like Spears. So I don't think the Titans have a plan at their quarterback position. It is certainly not Ryan Tannehill.
They don't.
The rest, like their defense keeps them competitive, but the fact that they're just like waiting and like just play one of those fucking other quarterbacks, Tennessee, and see what you got. Because if it's neither of those other guys you drafted, you better start thinking about another quarterback.
Well,
It's annoying. Sorry to get mad, but it annoys me.
No,
And I liked Ryan Tannehill. I liked when he came in and played well for the Titans after Mariota went down, but they gotta try something else. They gotta.
Well, they're in. I mean, you should be able to relate to this. I mean, sorry, but like they're in QB hell right now.
Yeah.
And they thought like, I will never forget this because Titans fans heading into the season were like, we are going to be like, this is not going to be a good year. This is going to be really bad. They lost all those games to end the season, but then they get DeAndre Hopkins and they're like, hey, we're going to be saved, but no one can get DeAndre Hopkins the ball.
Yeah.
So like, it don't matter.
So it's even if, because I think the guy's got to be Will Levis. Like, you got to be Will Levis. Maybe he's not, quote, ready. Okay. I don't care. Throw him out there. Let him start playing. Let him learn while playing. It's you're 6 weeks in. Okay. So he's been with the team in preseason. He got hurt. I think that held him back a little bit.
Yeah.
6 weeks there. He knows Vrabel. He knows the offense. Part of that offense is running the ball. Maybe they're not quite as good at doing it, but I think Tajay Spears is an interesting player. I think his biggest play is a pass out of the backfield. Get some easy throws to him. Run it with Derrick Henry. Simple 1-2 read throws for Will Levis, and just start to see what you got with the kid.
That's for you, Perna. You got a fitting.
Ooh, questionable roughing call that would have forced. There's a lot of every team saying that if this call didn't happen this week, it is every team. I think it was every team.
It's a lot of that. I also
it's like like buttholes. Everybody has one.
That was awesome.
Was it, Mike?
Yeah, that was awesome. I like buttholes.
I also feel like Malik Willis, because I was watching this, I was like, okay, maybe getting a mobile QB back there will like spark something. Is it just me? I feel like Malik Willis had the illusion of being a mobile quarterback yesterday. He had like some scrambles, but he'd be like this. And then he would still get sacked. Like it was like he tried, and there was a few that were like really impressive that he was able to like avoid the sack. But there were some he was just like dead, and then after all that, after like 15 seconds, he'd still get sacked. Like that was how I saw that game yesterday. The rest were not good. Yeah.
And the Titans, let's see, they play Atlanta next.
Could be a weird.
So are they on a bye week? Let's see here.
Today's the 6th.
Yeah, they're on a bye week. So this is perfect. Then they play the Falcons, who, don't get me wrong, I think the Falcons are a good team outside of their quarter. The Falcons and Titans are a little similar, actually.
We do this every single week, Perna. Desmond RIdder has a good week last week. We're like, hey, maybe he's not the problem. They could be. Never mind.
I didn't say maybe he's not the problem. I'm saying he played better, so let's give him credit for playing better. This week he was horrible.
I agree. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about in general. Like, I feel like I've been asked about Desmond RIdder like 18 times. And it's just like, hey, like, and that's a week. It's just like, hey, what do you think about like when are they moving on? I'm like, that's the thing. He's so hit or miss. He's inconsistent. And like, you need to make a decision. Is his inconsistency due to lack of experience? Or is it like lack of support? And if the answer of that is no, then you potentially bring in Heineke because he has that experience.
Yeah, I would switch to Heineke. Ritter's so like there's like 4.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Falcons are in the red zone.
Supplies.
They're in the red zone. Ridder throws an interception into the end zone. It's just it's not inexperience. It's nothing other than he threw a shitty football. Mm-hmm. Like he just threw a horrible pass. Like just didn't throw the right type of pass. I think they could have scored there. Underthrew the ball. Like that's really frustrating.
But like,
and it's really funny because where'd Arthur Smith come from? Tennessee, where Arthur Smith had Ryan Tannehill playing his best football ever. The Falcons, for whatever reason, don't even think about really making a play for a quarterback this offseason. They're that sold on Desmond RIdder after a very short sample size. So the Titans and the Falcons are in the same spot. Now the Titans are on a bye week. So this is the perfect week to make the switch to Will Levis. Extra time to prepare. You're playing a team a game you could win. So if the Titans don't do it this week, I don't know what they're thinking. Obviously, I won't blame the Falcons if they roll with Desmond RIdder this week over like Taylor Heineke, because the one thing Desmond RIdder did in this game, turnovers. Heineke's issue, turnovers. But Heineke has that extra thing. He gets his teammates excited. Dudes like playing for him. He'll make some great plays. But I don't know. I don't know if you're gaining anything there.
So here's the thing. Until the NFL actually acknowledges it's a problem, nothing's going to change. Like that's what it is. It is until it's actually like, hey, and when we talk to Ben Kurt about this, and this is the thing that I keep coming back to, the fact that teams have to scheme differently based on the officials that they're getting that week, that indicates an enormous problem. And listen, I'm all about tradition. I'm all about keeping things. Like, I'm just going to take something that's like really dumb, right? We're in 2023 and we are still using two guys with sticks and chains to measure if it's a first down or not. Yeah. And like, again, I like it. Like, I'll never forget the old Maddens and they're like running out like with the sticks and again, that's cool. Like, I like that. But if we're not willing to have all this technology that we have at our fingertips, you make billions and billions of dollars. And we're like, yep, no, let's call that. I don't know what to do. And even if you want to make it like human error, like the MLB, right? If you want to be like, listen, human error, it's a part of the game. You got to adapt to it. Whatever. Cool. Fine. Whatever. Then at least have it be more consistent. And as Perna has said many times, you have instant communication. Call it out in New York. Hey, is that roughing the passer? No. Okay, cool. Moving on.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, it was the Tashawn Gibson flag, right? He was flagged for, was it unnecessary roughness?
Fair.
Was that he hit the receiver and it wasn't pass interference, it was roughness. Some sort of roughness, right? I think in the fourth quarter of football games, all roughing the passer or unnecessary roughness penalties should just be reviewed in the fourth quarter. Like, I get why people don't want that in the whole game, although you should argue the hit on Josh Allen that was flagged for roughing the passer was as horrible of a flag as you could throw for that penalty. It didn't, I don't think that specifically like changed the game. The fourth quarter should be up for review. We think that this, and I get it. It's hard in real time. Like a lot of hits look violent, but the Tashawn Gibson one was a good football hit. It was a legal hit, so it should have been reviewed. That roughing the passer flag on Josh Allen in real time. So Josh is like rolling out to his right. He throws it. And as he throws it, the camera starts to pan away from, it's following the football. And I forget who hit Josh Allen, but I saw him come flying in, and I was like, ooh, that might be a roughing penalty. And then the replay, you see the defender like give himself up as he hits Josh Allen. His arm kind of hits Josh Allen in the shoulder pad, but the defender literally did everything right in that situation, and he was still penalized for it. And that's what the NFL has to fix. Like, a guy's doing the shit you want.
Well,
he's not hitting Josh Allen as hard as he can, and he's still getting flagged for it.
Well,
that's like the problem.
It's like when remember that hot second that felt like a fever dream where coaches were challenging pass interference calls, and we were like, nope, we're done with that. Like we are done with that because it slowed down the game an insane amount. And like it made it more, and you still would get sometimes the wrong call anyway.
No, like they almost got they never overturned their calls. Yeah. They didn't take it seriously.
Exactly. So, or they were just like, no, well, we're right. We are right. I think at the end of the day, it just, as we've been preaching for years, it just comes down to consistency. If you are having a team, like let's just say they're battling and they're letting them play, right? They're getting chippy. There aren't a lot of PI calls or like illegal contact, and they're letting it go, then that goes the whole game. That's it. That goes the entire game. And if it doesn't, like it's just this wishy-washy crap that happens even within a game. Week to week, it's a whole different issue. But within a game, they go, oh, okay, yeah, like we're not going to call this here, but the same exact thing is going to happen 2 quarters later, and we're going to call it now.
Yeah.
And that's the frustrating thing. And again, until the NFL acknowledges like, hey, this is a big problem, they're not going to fix it. So
no, because why won't they? Because it's going to cost a little money. It's going to cost a little cheddar, a little dough. And the NFL, well, they do not like to spend money if they don't have to.
Like the fact
unless it's and finding players is crazy too.
Oh yeah,
take that player fine money and invest it in your officials.
The fact that you can make more money as a former official on all the TV stations by being a guy who's no longer an official and just be like, yeah, this is what I think. What are we doing?
Yeah. And they don't even need that official in the booth because every game this season, the announcers are like, this doesn't look like the right call. And the official's like, yeah, I agree. Like, we know the game. We understand the rules. We understand some of those calls are subjective. And in real time, I get that there's that margin of error.
Yes.
But they have the way to correct it. And they're just like, nah, fuck it.
Why not?
Yeah, fuck it. That was exact Roger Goodell's quote at the meeting. They're like, should we make referees full-time? Goodell said, nah, fuck it. Nah, fuck it. That's how Goodell talks behind the scenes, by the way.
He sounds like a parrot.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah. I'm Roger Goodell.
Is that that's what he sounds like?
Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
Anyway.
I do want to talk about the Seahawks Bengals real quick. I know we're going over. Geno Smith had a rough day yesterday.
Yeah.
He had a rough day. They do talk to America. That is very, very true. Geno Smith had a rough day. And the Bengals but they still could have won after all that. So I still think it indicates like the Seahawks are a good football team. Like I still think that they will be around there when it comes to the playoffs. Like I still think they'll be rocking. The question that's starting to pop up a little bit more and more is why aren't they giving the ball to JSN? Because he's looking pretty good every time he touches the ball. And like, why draft him if you're not going to utilize? And again, it's going to take time, and usually you're not going to have these guys like explode right out of the gate. But I think the Seahawks will be okay. It's just I think the Bengals are starting to get into that rhythm of why they're so scary. They're starting to be a little bit more consistent. And now, like, it's the Bengal. I think it's in a couple weeks. It's Bengals 49ers. Like that now, like that's going to be a good game. Like I'm excited to see that game now.
Yeah, and it was Cincinnati's defense that ended that game, right? Mm-hmm. So the Seahawks are in the red zone. And Geno Smith got a chance to win the game, sacked by BJ Hill. Like just a great. It wasn't like a flaw by Geno. He didn't throw a pick. He just ball was snapped. Bengals were right in his face and called game on a sack. So. It's Cincy's defense is the story of that team, and it's just kind of crazy to say after like the last few years, and it's just been Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler
Chase
Boyd.
Came back last week, but yeah, no, I understand.
Joe Mixon, I know he did, but like this game, it was another kind of quiet offensive day for the Bengals, just gritty football, baby.
Did not take advantage of opportunities. Your boy, Gardner Minshew. Buddy. I know the Colts don't win in Jacksonville, but
out of respect, I will be doing no gardening this week. None. Refuse to garden, cut my lawn, clean up any leaves until Gardner Minshew wins again.
He also threw the ball 55 times. Yeah, and you have Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor. Now, I think the real story behind this and what it's been for the past couple weeks, I mentioned this after the Bills game, has been the Jaguars defense.
Yeah.
They're looking pretty damn good. And the offense can still get better. Right? I know Trevor Lawrence, he had like a knee issue. They don't think it's serious, which is a good thing. Apparently it's going to be day to day. But dude, like if that defense can kind of take that next step, which it looks like it can, Jaguars could be a dangerous team. They could be a dangerous team.
They were my Super Bowl pick.
So, not bad. Did you watch the Bears-Vikings game?
Very little. It was barely on red zone because nothing was happening
so bad, dude.
good in that game. A scoop and score for the Vikings was really the difference. Justin Fields dislocated his thumb, so he was out. We got Tyson Bayonet, Tyson Baguette, Tyson. I did a video on Tyson in preseason, and yeah.
Both teams did not look good.
I think
both teams looked horrible.
They didn't look good, but I think if Justin Fields doesn't get hurt, the Bears probably win that game. But the Vikings won. So one team took a victory that I need in terms of the Broncos being in position to get the quarterback of their future. And all the other teams, all the loser-ass losing teams, continue to lose. The Bears, the Patriots, the Panthers.
Wasn't even the worst game this week.
Cardinals, the Giants. I need some of these teams to start winning football games.
They got to win now. They got to win. Rams keep winning. I mean, again, they lost the other day, but the Rams are a weird team. They look solid, but the guy who's starting to make waves is Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams has been really consistent. He had over 150 yards yesterday.
Yeah.
He's looking pretty darn good. Oh yeah, and
almost all of them coming in the second half too.
Yes. Yeah.
I forget the announcers in the game they got to get the ball to Kyren Williams. They got to start running the ball. And the Rams come out of the half, and I think they ran it 7 or 8 straight times.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he finished with 158. Cooper Kupp's back.
He's back.
Puka Nacua dropped a touchdown pass too. There was a penalty on the play, so I think it got negated anyway. But Rams they're still the sneaky team right now. I feel like in the NFC.
They're going to be, again, their offense, they get healthy, they're going to be problematic. I'm just I don't know how far they're going to go, but I wouldn't be shocked if they're contending for a wild card spot at the end.
Oh, yeah.
I just think they're there. We talked about the Eagles. We already talked about them. Tonight, buddy. Tonight. Texans, hell yeah, bro. Texans, let's go. I am legitimately rooting for the Texans. I am. I really like CJ Stroud. I do.
Yeah, I think everybody does right now.
And Anthony Richardson, because we didn't get to talk about this, he's out likely out for the year, right? That.
If he gets surgery, yeah. If he decides to get surgery, yeah.
That sucks, man. So the Colts are going to be in this weird purgatory now. Bryce Young, he's on the Panthers. Enough said. And so the one rookie guy, we're yes, let's go CJ Stroud in a place where they got a new head coach, D'Amico Ryans. I love what he's doing there. They're a banged up football team right now too, but going up against a good defense, he threw an interception, but I'm really liking the way that CJ Stroud is playing. It was also that press conference, man. That press conference, coming out and saying, listen, I want you to wear those jerseys with pride and stuff. I was oh yeah, let's go. Let's go. That's what a fan base needs to hear though, especially one that's been bad for a really long time. They kind of just need that sometimes that reminder of hey, these players, they're busting their ass to make you be able to walk out in public in a Texans jersey and be hey, yep, I'm a Texans fan.
And to be the rookie quarterback saying that too and playing well and continuing to play well, very cool for Texans. And I think they made the right coaching hire. I think they're a team too that, because as a team right now they're okay, but they're a team that another if they approach free agency in a way where they don't just sign 50 dudes to 1-year contracts, they might do that this offseason, and another good draft in a interesting division. They could be a very good team for a while.
Mm-hmm. If they rebuild the right way. Absolutely.
Yeah. And they got all the capital from the Watson thing, and we'll see what they do, but
yeah. And then tonight, you got the Cowboys and Chargers. I'm thinking it will be an offensive game, which means that it's probably going to be a terrible game because I'm also streaming it. So that's just the way that it goes.
The Kellen Moore revenge game, baby.
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, if the Cowboys win, Scooter this week. Because after last week where he was just the Eagles lost, the 49ers lost, the Cowboys, they need to lose. They gotta. Or Thursday's going to be rough.
I want to see the Chargers offense just put up numbers on Dallas.
They might. We'll see if Micah Parsons can rebound after not having such a great week last week. So
Yeah, I think the Cowboys defense will show up, though.
I think
do.
so too.
But
Perna, what you got coming out today, buddy?
if I can finish the edit that Johnny Barks started for me, it is every wrong decision the Broncos have made since winning Super Bowl 50.
Is that an hour and a half video?
It is currently sitting at 23 minutes. Thought it'd be a little quick, 14-minute video.
Would be quick.
We had an outline. Will wrote, I think it was just hit 5 pages. I got in there, and 2 hours later, I'm like, fuck, this is 7 pages long.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's just getting to be one of the worst teams in the league takes a lot of bad decisions. And I just started thinking about them like, oh God. Thank you, Trav.
You're like in that one and that one and that
Yeah.
one.
So hopefully I can finish that. Got to shoot most of winners and losers. What do you got, Tom?
It's going to be a big one today. If the NFL was scripted, week 6 is going to come out today. I'm so glad I started this series because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it beyond 1 week. Nope. It just keeps on giving me more. So that'll come out this afternoon. And then tonight I'll be streaming with Papa Grossi for the Cowboys-Chargers game. And then every NFL fan's reaction to week 6, which will be another doozy, will come out right after that game. And yeah, I don't know, dude, I know you just, it's a fever dream whenever you do it. I legitimately don't know how I'm going to do power rankings this week. I have no idea.
See, these are the weeks I'm so excited for power rankings.
I have no idea. I don't know who's good. I don't
because the curse
finally worked. It
got
finally
the 49ers.
got the 49ers. And it hurt them bad, too. It took away players. It took away the wins.
I don't advocate for curse injuries. It's just about the win or loss. But the 49ers went down. Who did it? Was the Chargers? Who did I put at 10? The Chargers and...
Oh, the Colts. Yeah, no, you cursed. You cursed them.
Oh, now I got to root for the Chargers to lose tonight for the curse. Damn it! Go Dak! Dak to the future, baby! Cowboys, Cowboys, Cowboys.
Someone clip that and send it to Scooter. He'll be so happy.
Yeah.
Well, folks, thank you so much for watching. By the way, we are only 6 days away from Armageddon. Packers, Broncos. For the first time, Brandon Perna and I will be streaming our own teams facing against one another Sunday. Oh, it is going to be an event.
I feel like we're going to have to turn off super chats just so we can talk in that game.
That game is going to... Oh, it's Colts Jags? I thought it was Colts Chargers. Oh. All right, never mind. Colts Jags.
Oh, you're right, because the Chargers were on the bye week. Colts Jags, so one team got cursed. It was the Colts.
So anyway, it is going to be the event of the season. The GPS Bowl is finally here.
Packers Broncos Sunday. And if we can get it squared out, we might be doing some underdog giveaways during the stream.
There you go. But folks, thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you have been navigated.
Actually, it's Brandon Berna. And you've reached your destination.
I'm not calling you that.
Brandon.